the Almost Perfect Podcast.
Welcome to the Almost Perfect Podcast, a celebration of fuck-ups, failures, and falling flat on your face. This is a podcast that believes you can learn from experience, but that experience doesn't have to be your own. Hi, I'm Bob Perfect, and I'm a functional fuck-up. Let's learn from somebody else's mistakes, and today we're learning from, not somebody else actually. We are learning from me. Yes, we're learning from me once again. This is the third time we're doing one of these. It should be the last time for quite some time, but with my birthday happening this Friday, I figured why not? Let's do a Q&A session, and let's get to know each other just a little bit better. So thanks for tuning in to one of these episodes. Like they actually have done fairly decently in comparison to some of the other ones. They have beaten like the numbers with some other guests, which makes me feel a little bit weird, because I would assume like the base level listenership for this would be, just people who want to listen to me. So if you want to listen to me and somebody else, I would figure more people would want to listen to that in general. So I would assume that these would be the lowest listened to episodes, but turns out no, not how it works. But yeah, thanks for listening. As always, you can go over to Facebook, the Almost Perfect Podcast. We are that over there. And on all the streaming platforms, we are that there. We are almost_podcast at Twitter. And patreon.com/almostperfect. If you want to chuck in a few shekels, maybe, and go subscribe as a birthday present to me. That could be cool. It's a birthday present that, might last a few months. Or you can just do it 1 month. Just go, give me $1. Would be quite useful, especially at the moment. But yeah, birthday is happening on Friday. Got a party happening on Friday at the Winston Pub, and you might know some of the acts that are playing, because they've been on this podcast. Acts like Nepo Herd and Leah Jazz have both been on this podcast, and a few other people on the lineup might eventually be on this podcast at some time. So yeah, that's on all the social media that I have out there. You can go check that out. And the lineup's there. It's 70 Rand if you are not in theme, and it's 40 Rand if you are in theme. And the theme is Across Dress the Universe 2 Intergalactic Boogaloo. And that is because, the last time I did a big party was Across Dress the Universe 1, which was a sick party that we did at the Winston Pub, where the theme is cross-dressing and space. So you can either, just go spacey or cross-dressy or both. And I'm looking to do a bit of both. I'm going to be heading to the secondhand store tomorrow. I've already eyed out some dresses. And there's some cool stuff that I want to maybe try out. And, explore space and gender and have a little bender, as I say on the Facebook event there. So yeah, the details for all of that are on social media. My social media, just find Bob Perfect or Bobness Monster on Twitter. And that's all you need to know about that. I think that's good enough for announcements and things that need to be said in that regard. So we can get into the gist of this whole episode. Like I said just now, it's a Q&A session. I asked on the interwebs. I kind of begged a little bit for some questions, and I ended up getting a lot. So across Instagram and Twitter, y'all came out and asked me a lot of interesting things, some of which I might not actually get to, some of which I will. So let's get started with Timothy Edwards on Instagram 1212. He asked, what's your favorite venue in South Africa? Now, you should have specified, Timothy. But yeah, for comedy, probably Kitchener's or Mobile Comedy Club. Those are two of my favorite places. Kitchener's in general, and the Box is also, it's no longer there, but that was one of my favorites, like, spaces to perform. So yeah, in terms of actually performing, those are my favorite places to do it. And for bands and music, I'd say obviously the Winston is one of my favorite. I've had a lot of love for the various different arcade empires as time has gone on. I also just like Kitchener's for music as well. Kitchener's in general is just one of my favorite venues. And I used to enjoy Evil in Cape Town. I don't know. Like that wasn't really a venue. That was just a party that happened. But yo, good times on a Friday night at Evo. So those were some of my favorite venues in South Africa. I'm trying to think at the moment. Nothing else that really stands out to my mind. I can't really think of anything that really. I mean, like if you look at back in the day, like Unit 11 was quite cool and stuff like that. But at the moment, I don't know. There is nothing that consistent in Durban, at least. And when I go out in Joburg, I kind of forget where I've gone. I will give a shout out to Romeo's. It's not really a venue, but it's a bar in Melville. That's good times I had at Romeo's. I'll say that much. And I just want to give a shout out to Tim for letting me sleep at his place when I was touring in Joburg in December. Let me crash there whilst I was performing out at Melville Comedy Club because he lives near there. So thanks a lot, Tim. And Tim also asked another question a bit further down. That was on Twitter, but when I get there, we'll get to that. Next is fourth goes Frank, which is Frank Mzamela. Shout outs to Frank. Fucking, like, we go way back from when he used to work at the Factory Cafe and I used to work out of the Factory Cafe. And he's done a lot of cool things in the fashion game and just, yeah, someone who I'm looking at from afar and would love to chat to when he's back in South Africa or we're back in the same town at least. He asked, if you were God, what would you do to help the Durban creative industry? I don't know. I would make money an unnecessary thing. Like, nah, but if I was God, I don't know. That's a pretty big question. But if I was mayor, I could probably do a bit more. They've been cutting funding and shit. They've been doing some really weird shit in Durban lately. And just in general, haven't been very supportive of the arts. Like, they're supportive of big events, like in big tourism things and big things with like MTV and stuff like that. But I think obviously grassroots stuff is important. I think, there needs to be more people being funded for creating art and teaching art. That sort of stuff just needs to happen. Like, so many places around the world have these things. Like, if you're in a band, you get like $1,000 a month or whatever, like, or $2,000 a month. It's not a lot, but like that helps you cover like various things. I think it's a lot more than that depending on where you are. But it's affordable to be able to create art because you're slightly sustained by the government as well as obviously, doing the job. And I think there's no safety net here. So the creative industry doesn't really get to thrive. Like, everyone is struggling. The public can't really support because they don't necessarily have money, and the people who do have money don't have any fucking taste. So it's just they're not actually supporting art. They're supporting their friends, like they went to Vega creating. I actually don't want to throw too much shade there because some of you might be listening to the podcast, and I don't want to. You're young and impressionable, and I don't want to, be mean, but. Yeah, like I think I would just want to, like, you have to just look at the structures in place, and I think a lot of them suck. And I think that there's no, in general, like there's not no paths to success, but there's very few paths to success, and I would just like to create more of those. So yeah, I don't know how that would actually all be done, but I think having some funding going towards people who are already doing cool stuff would help. Like, I definitely think, a lot of stuff goes underfunded in the city, and people do have a bit of a nightmare just trying to get the money together for their stuff. And then, you see these fucking gigantic gala dinners where it's half attended and like, yeah, it's just bullshit, like, so yeah, we'll see how things go. Next is Baron Harley, also on Instagram there. Baron is of course in the band Hated Related. They are going to be playing on a Friday night at the Winston Pub. So he asks, if you could be any Pokemon, who would you be? Like people have asked this on Twitter before, and I said, like, I'd want to be Mewtwo, like, in theory, because A, super powerful, and B, like all about that Pokemon liberation. Like in the movie, Mewtwo was all about like, free Pokemon from human enslavement. So like I like to think I would be like that rabble rouser, but in reality, I imagine myself probably being like a lazy Snorlax, like stoner with the Charmander best friend that like a light joints off of his tail and stuff. It would be a fun vibe. Like I think that would be my life as a Pokemon. Cool. Next, Esty Stratum, who's a comedian down in Cape Town. I think she lectures judging by her Facebook, and also takes photos. So, she asks, "How will you be a better person for yourself in 2020?" I've been doing just the general self-help stuff lately. Like I think if you've seen on my Instagram, like I posted, like I'm on a self-help kick, and like I really am. I've been reading more. That's been something that like I've just been, we put it off a lot, like, and for no real good reason. Yeah, some books suck, and so just stop reading them and read something that does engage you. Like if you're struggling through a book, or just get through it. Just put your phone down somewhere else and set aside like 20 minutes to half an hour a day to read, and you'll actually find you can get through a lot more books. I like stopped, like I used to read so much as a kid, and then I kind of stopped, as an adult because of games, because of my cell phone, because of lots of different, distractions in life. And so now I set it up like in my little Google calendar, and that I have like, a little half-hour session essentially each day. And yeah, I try and fill that up with reading as much as I can. I don't always hit it like the whole half hour or every single day, but most of the time I do, at least a little bit before bed. But sometimes when I wake up, and sometimes just in the middle of the day at lunch, have a little read. So that's been very, very useful. And then what else? Not eating meat. That's something I've been doing lately, since the beginning of the year as well. And then also fitness stuff. I've got the Nike training app and the Nike running app, and I've been doing those things. So that's how I'm trying to be a better person for myself in 2020, is just looking after my actual self, my body and my mind, and trying to be a bit healthier in all those regards. Mentally as well, trying to, address things a lot more healthily. And I think as time's gone on, I kind of am. I seem calmer, like as time's gone on. I seem to handle things a bit better. So yeah, maybe emotionally and mentally as well, I'm getting there. And then how will you be a better person for others in 2020? This is a weird one because I hadn't really thought about it. I wasn't really thinking too much about trying to be a better person for others in 2020. I was trying to think more about how to make myself a better person, which, has knock-on effects for other people. If I'm, a bit more aware of my shittiness, I guess, then I cannot be so shitty to other people. So in terms of that, like that's been something I've been working on, is just being more, aware of my place in the world and how I treat others and all of that. So I guess that's an answer. It's not really a good one, but it's the one I'm gonna give you, because I don't know. Like as I said, like I didn't really consider how I'm gonna be a better person for others this year. Like I know how I want to be a better person for one particular person, which is my girlfriend. So like there's that, but I'm not gonna share that with you guys. But other than that, as a whole, I guess not eating meat is how I'm helping, other people. I'm making the world a better place. That's right. Am I right? Am I right? Other veggies. Yeah, we're making the world a better place. That's how it works. Are you Jazz? Leah Jazz. Yes, Leah, who's also playing on Friday. She asked a few different things over on Instagram. Number one, do people still read blogs? Maybe. I don't know. They just never read Durbin as yours. Or at least not towards the end. Or at least not when you wrote for it. No, that's once again just why am I being mean to people who have been so kind as to ask questions. I would say newsletters are the new blogs because I have a newsletter, but I think newsletters are also quite old now, and I don't even know. like it's been dope. People have been reading the newsletter. Like over half of the people who are subscribed to it open it, and people open it multiple times. And I look at all those stats, and I shouldn't, but I do. And yeah, it's been interesting to see. So I've also just been enjoying writing again. Like that was what the fun thing about blogging was just thinking about a topic to write about and writing about it. And so I've been doing that with the newsletter vibes, and I've been enjoying that. And I just think vlogging killed blogging essentially. Video killed the radio star, and it killed the blogging star. Like YouTube and just video content in general is, way more popular than reading articles or reading blog posts. And also just Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those things, social media in general has changed the way people engage with media. Like, I don't think, or content, as they say. I think there probably are still blogs out there that people love to death and people read, and, it's got its own thing, but in general, it's not the thing it used to be. And I think Nas, who actually asks a similar question a little bit later, let me actually quickly see if I can find it. He said, do you think blogging as people like you or I traditionally practiced it is dead? Or are there still sites you feel do it well, your own culture writing aside? I actually don't know about other blogs that do it well, so that's just my bad. I don't really pay attention that much anymore. I read articles and stuff when they come through and people send good stuff, and Vinyl Me Please is really good. That's been a consistently good music site forever. But a lot of my favorite writers, and that's I don't really see them writing as much anymore. Dan Ozzie has a great blog. That's his own personal blog. And I guess blogs are living on through Medium in general. So yeah, it's Medium, I guess, is the new blogging vibe. And it has been for a while. So I guess it still exists. I guess people still do it. It's just not quite the, same way it used to be. Okay, another one from Leo Jazz. What would you say to your dad if you saw him in the street? I wouldn't, fucking recognize him, to be completely honest with you. So probably nothing. If I did, I don't know. I don't think I'd talk to him much. I'd probably want to hit him, but in general, probably just ignore him and carry on with my life. Because why waste time on somebody who clearly doesn't want to spend time with you? And then, which wrestler would you challenge at MTG? I think Kenny Omega would be pretty great to play. He's so he's this dude. He's in AEW. He used to be in New Japan. Big deal. He's really, really big. But he's also a huge video game nerd. He plays at all the big tournaments. He plays Street Fighter and stuff like that. But he's been playing Tekken, which is the Street Fighter card game thing that you play on your phone or tablet. It's not available here yet, which annoys me. But I've seen Kenny's been jamming that, and so I figure if he can jam that, he can probably jam MTG. So that'd be quite a fun matchup. Also, it'd just be cool to jam against one of the dopest dudes in the world. I think he's pretty cool. I think as a wrestler, he's pretty rad. So I would love to just hang out and jam some games in general with him. Which fictional character would I take out on a date? Veronica Mars. Definitely Veronica Mars. The movie was pretty cool, but the show was something I just grew up on and had the biggest crush. I think it went Kim Possible to Veronica Mars, as crushes went, as I grew up. So yeah, Veronica Mars would be quite a good one. And then maybe Ruth from Glow. That would be pretty good. She's, a wrestler. She's a little neurotic and weird and stuff like that. But she seems quite sweet. She seems quite cool. And yeah, you get to be a part of history as it happens. And get to learn about wrestling firsthand from someone who actually does it. So that could be pretty fun. And then which wrestler would I defeat in a physical confrontation? None. I don't think that's going to happen. Most wrestlers have some form of combat sports ability at the very least. I mean, they're play fighting, but they're still hitting each other. They're still not as hard, but they're still bumping into things. Like I watched wrestling in real life here in Durban. Like, you know, the one dude smashed a keyboard over the other dude's head. Like that was real. Like he started bleeding immediately afterwards. The pieces flew everywhere. Like it was for real, real. So I don't know what my chances are beating like if those kind of people in a fight. Probably not very good. I also assume they're fairly fit and yeah, just none. I'm just gonna say none. I'm never going to make that mistake because one day I might say a wrestler's name on here like, oh, I could beat that up, and then like in 10 years time I'm on like some talk show like in America or whatever. There's me and Trevor Noah, you know, busy chilling there, and he brings out the surprise guest, and it's this wrestler who I said that I could beat up, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm being choked out on international TV, all because I couldn't keep my mouth shut on a fucking podcast. So yeah, I couldn't defeat any wrestlers in a physical confrontation. Let's be honest. And if you had to get a desk job, what would it be? Shit, like, I don't actually know. I'm looking at the moment for various jobs. I've applied for a few different things, most of them still from home, but you know, writing, editing, that sort of thing. Features writer, like, you know, but that sort of stuff you do from home anyway. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to actually just, do more writing work in general. And wherever I have to do that from, that's where I'm gonna do it. But in terms of desk jobs, I fucking can't imagine it really properly. Like, I don't know, like whatever fucking pays well. It doesn't matter to me if I'm at a desk job, if I'm doing a desk job, it's not because like it's a dream job or anything. It's because I need the fucking money. And so, yeah, I don't know. You offering? Is that what this is? Or you just trying to, you know, job recruit? I don't know. I have no clue. But yeah, no. Writer, editor of a magazine, maybe. That sort of thing. Do they still exist? Are magazines still going? Anything other than like you or tabloid bullshit? Like, yeah, that would be pretty cool. You're a telemarketer. What's your opening line? Hi, I hate myself and this job, but if I don't sell enough of those products, then I won't be able to pay my kids' school fees, and I will likely start a capitalist political party to take out my frustrations with society. So please buy the product, or else we're gonna have to start, the ZACP. Cool. That would be my telemarketing opening line. I think it would be absolutely terrifying, and people would buy whatever it is that I'm trying to sell. Next, this one's also once again by Leah. What fictional universe would you want to live in? And that would be either the Pokemon universe, I think. That would be pretty cool. Just in general, you know, already play Pokemon Go. Would be pretty cool to play Pokemon. Like, you know, not Go, just live in that world. Well, I feel like it would be incredibly fucking dangerous. Like, just, you know, wild animals fighting each other everywhere, just electrocuting shit, throwing ice beams, fucking fire and shit. Like, I don't know if that's actually like I feel like that might actually be a dystopia. Like it's painted as a utopia in the TV show, but I don't know how much of that would actually happen. So yeah, the Pokemon universe would be pretty interesting. The Skew-universe would be great. That's Kevin Smith's universe. View Askew is his vibe. And yeah, I've seen, I think, all of the movies. And yeah, it would be pretty, I would know them all. You know, I'd go to, what is it, like Rugmunchers is definitely one of the places that's there. Fashionable Mail, the store in Mallrats. You know, I'd go to the Quick Stop, try to buy some weed from Jay, you know, have him start rapping at me. So I feel like I could fit into this universe quite nicely. And yeah, that's it. Those are going to be my fictional universes. Oh, and the Magic the Gathering universe could be pretty interesting. Like the whole Planeswalker thing, you know, because there you're then just living in multiverses, like if you can Planeswalk. So then you're just living in multiverses. And I guess, I mean, if you're living in like the Marvel universe, then you could do that too. Same thing with everyone. Like eventually people, when they're writing stories, run out of ideas and they create new universes. And that's how comic books got ruined. Okay. We got Betty Page. Yes, this is my girlfriend, Paige Finesse. She asked a few questions, kicking it off with Patrick Bateman, Hannibal Lecter, Don Draper, kill, bang, marry. Bang Don Draper, because obviously he's fucking the hottest out of the three of them. And yeah, I feel like that could probably be the best time, because Patrick Bateman is just gonna try and kill you, and yeah, then you've got Hannibal Lecter, who, if you try bang him, is probably gonna try eat you. So both of them not the best ones to be banging there. So I'm gonna kill Bateman before he kills you. And I feel like Lecter is somebody who you could marry, like Lecter. If the two of you are together, you just have to change your diet a little bit. Like that would just be, you would just be going a bit more carnivorous than vegan there. It would still actually probably be a diet that's good for the environment though. So yeah, so that would be fuck, marry, kill, or kill, bang, marry, as you so cutely put it. Yeah, so fuck Draper, kill Bateman, and marry Hannibal Lecter. Interesting life choices. What's your favorite birthday memory so far? That's an interesting one, because it's hard to pick like one birthday memory, and like there's been a lot of birthdays at this point. But the one constant thing, especially at least in my adult life, has just been friends being there for me. Like, I know it's cheesy to say that, but it's the honest truth. Like, so many people show up to my silly little parties, and like I've done like the roast of Bob Perfect and shit, and like, people come together, they perform, they, get dressed up. They've done it for years and years and years. And I really appreciate that people are willing to, celebrate my life a little bit, or at least just come out and have a good time and, pay their entry fee at the door. I'm cool with that too. But in general, yeah, like I think the original Across the Rest of the Universe is definitely like a big one. Having Phantasma play was phenomenal. Another birthday party I had, Moonchild played, which was pretty like unreal. We had, who do we have play at my 21st? I'm trying to remember. Shit, like I think it was meant to be City Ball and Go-Go, but I don't think that happened because like I didn't really get sound and stuff, because I didn't really know like exactly what bands needed to play. So I think it was a bit of a stripped down show, and then just playlist vibes. But that was a lingerie and masks party. So that was my 21st. I think it was my 21st. It wasn't my 18th. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, yeah, my birthdays in general have been quite fun. I've tried to celebrate them. I ebb and flow between it. Like some years I'm like, oh fuck, why am I doing this? But then, it's good to celebrate your life, I guess. And so I've had some pretty good birthday memories just in general. Paige also asks, is vegetarianism for you? I would say yes. So far it's been pretty cool. Like I've had to, learn to cook new things and try different things, and that's been quite interesting and quite fun. I do enjoy, eating new dishes and trying to cook new things. So that's been rad. And just in general, like I'm not giving up meat entirely forever. Like when we go out or whatever, to restaurants, and I feel like having a steak, I might just do that, because I'm not going to go to a restaurant that often. It depends on the meals, it depends on the vibe, and just whatever it is. Like if you go to Ninth Avenue Bistro, I'm probably not going to order the salad. And if I go to a bra, I might have a Voss roll. But in general, yeah, like I'm not having meat at home or anything like that. I'm not buying like takeout and things like that. So yeah, like I've been digging it. Like I feel, I don't know if like it's that and the exercise and stuff altogether probably is that, and also not drinking Coca-Cola and shit. Like, yeah, like I've been feeling a lot better and stuff. And so, yeah, it seems to be going fairly well for me. So I guess vegetarianism is for me. And you ask red pill or blue pill. Now, where do we start? Okay, so the pills are an illusion. Like, they don't. The whole thing. The Matrix is wrong. Like, the movie is just. Like, I love the movie. I think it's fantastic and it's great. But it misses the whole point of, like, a lot of its source material, which is by a guy called Jean Baudrillard, is probably how you say it. He wrote a book called Simula and Simulacrum, I think. Yeah, I think that's. I'm hoping that's it because I'm trying to sound smart now, and I might be wrong. But either way, simulation, I think, might be one of the words in there. Simulation and simulacra, or something like that. God damn it. But yeah, Baudrillard basically, he said about The Matrix is that The Matrix is the film that The Matrix would produce, because essentially, the way he sees it, we're already living in the Matrix. Like, everything around us is already a simulation. Like, nothing is essentially real anymore. It's all just copies of copies, and we're all just, projections. We're all living out fantasies of things we've seen before in our own lives. So we're a simulation. We're not necessarily being real. Okay, I don't know if I'm explaining any of this correctly. So go and read Jean Baudrillard. Like, not that I did. I've read some essays and stuff. I watched some video essays and shit. But now I feel like I've just got this whole thing completely wrong. But there's no way out of the Matrix. That's the whole point. Like, so they're offering you the choice, the red pill and the blue pill. It's all a lie anyway. It's just the Matrix lying to you. Zion is still a part of the Matrix. And so, yeah, I think it confuses things a little bit in the movie, as much as I am confused now. But red pill or blue pill, no pill. I wouldn't take any of the pills, because that's also the thing. Why didn't just go, what if I don't take a pill? Because he's like, red pill, you find out the fucking truth about everything. Blue pill, you go back to sleep. And he's just like, well, I'm already kind of awake in this half state. What if I just remember this conversation that we have now? What if I just walk home now? What happens then? Never asked that question. So I'm starting to doubt Neo's oneness here. He was very quick to just go, yeah, I'll just fucking join you guys. Let me just take the drug. Like, we've got binary choices here. It's so simple to go, yeah, this is the truth about, everything ever. I feel like I need to go and read more. And then, okay, so next question. What are you most proud of yourself in terms of how you've grown or are growing? Like, in general, being a bit calmer is nice. Like, not as quick to anger as I have been in the past. But, like, as a general trait, I've, like, grown, like, the ability... The Kenny Rogers song. I think it's Kenny Rogers. Not Kenny Loggins. It's definitely Kenny Rogers. The Gambler. You gotta know when to hold him. You gotta know when to fold him. You gotta know when to walk away. You gotta know when to run. And yeah, like, I feel my ability to do that's gotten pretty good. Before I might have held on to certain things for a bit too long, or I might not, like, I might have held on to the wrong things, or I might have let go of things that, I shouldn't have let go of. And I feel like my ability to read situations and make, choices, like letting go of things that seem like good situations or good opportunities, and going, you know what, this actually isn't for me. This isn't the thing that I need to be doing right now. So I think maybe that just comes with age. Maybe that's just an experience thing. But yeah, I feel like learning those things, I guess I'm growing that, like, I'm learning what I value, but I don't know how much of that is growing. Yeah, that's growing. That's definitely growing. So I guess I'm kind of proud of that. My ability to say no to things, to walk away from things now, and also yeah, to do my own thing, to go put my head down and go, I'm gonna hold on to this thing, like this podcast, and just keep going for it and just keep doing the thing that I want to do, and hope I have a winning hand, as they say. Last one on Twitter here, not Twitter, Instagram, is by Marvelous Minty, who's Kevin Minter Brown, who was the guy who gave me a shot at DYR 1051. I think you can still listen to him in the mornings. I don't really get up in the mornings, so I don't know if he's on early anymore. He asked, "What is string theory?" I'm going to assume that is a theory about how long is a piece of string, and the answer is, well, depends on the fucking piece of string. So I don't know, Kevin. What is string theory? You tell me. I don't fucking know. Next, Somi on Twitter. This is old MT. And T is a G. He's someone who I used to have a blog with called Street Store Avenue. And we went to street cred in Joburg and represented. So he asked, do you think Bat Center gets the respect it deserves when it comes to building artists and being the foundation for many people in Durban? Most of the guys on the podcast name drop the Bat Center as a start of their careers. And I don't think it does get the recognition or the funding or, like the love it still deserves now, because that whole area has kind of gone to ruin a little bit. It smells like piss constantly. I remember when DYR was at the Bat Center, we used to, be at, that's where DYR came from. So like if you see it on Florida Road now, you have no idea like what we came from. Like it was like just a rundown little orange building. We used to have to cross the train tracks. But when there was a train coming, you had to go through like the little tunnel, and that was just smelling like piss and shit. And like just the actual like harbor itself is dirty. It's just like the water and like stuff is full of trash. And yeah, like the vibe down there isn't as kiff as like it used to be. So I think, Bat Center gets respect from the people who were there or people who have used it as time's gone on, like I know comedy has been big, at the Bat Center. Brando's at the Bat's happening sometime soon, and just in general has happened there a lot. A lot of big comedy gigs have happened there. A lot of big hip hop events, obviously GMT happened there. So, I think for people who've experienced Bat Center, like I remember watching Most Precious Blood, which is like this American hardcore band at the Bat Center, as well as I've emceed gigs there, I've performed there. It's been quite like a wonderful home for art in Durban, and I do feel like it's just neglected by the community. People in general don't do stuff there, but it's also like I'm not too sure anymore, but I know like management changes as as time goes on and things change, and I know they've always had issues with regards to funding and stuff. So I don't know what's really going on at the Bat Center there, but I'm hoping like it gets back to its former days of glory. But I don't know if the city cares about art anymore. Like I shared an article on Twitter via the Almost Perfect podcast Twitter thing, and I shared the thing there that said, they're basically taking away funding from a lot of people now. They're saying, these things aren't permanent. You're not keeping it forever. You got to try to find funding from other places. And yes, private funding does need to come in as well. But where is that money going now is a great question to ask. Tim again, so Tim Musician on Twitter, who's 1212 on Instagram, the guy who let me stay at his place. He asks, what is the best way for a band to get a good blog's attention? I would have no idea, because never been a part of a good blog. But if you want to get a part of a blog's attention, follow the guys that follow the writers essentially online. There is that. Send them your stuff. Like, I don't know. It's a weird one because, this like obviously just send your shit to the blog, but like sometimes, you know, people don't read your emails and stuff like that. So you kind of have to be seen doing things. You got to be on their radar. So fuck, like it's a weird one, but if you can just get like, it's more about building hype, like not even building hype, but just building. I think it becomes a natural thing. You will eventually get the attention of blogs if you're doing all the other stuff correctly. Like if you're playing shows, like, and you know people are talking about your band, a cool blog is going to know about it. Like someone who has their ear to the ground is going to hear about good bands and good music. I mean, I find it that way for myself. Like I don't even go out that much anymore, and I still kind of know everything that's going on in Durban at the moment because people talk to me, people tell me, yeah, this band's cool, these guys are cool, and then I check them out for myself. And sometimes I agree, sometimes I disagree, but I think, yeah, like word of mouth helps a lot. You know, having people share your stuff in general, and just yeah, being out there as a band is always going to be something that gets a blog's attention. And if you send something, you know, like like it's also actually, this is where the real advice can come. It's how you approach the blog sometimes. Like a lot of people send me stuff that's, hey, this is our new single, blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, okay, I have no fucking clue who you are, you know, never heard of the band before, nothing like that. And so it could be like a, hey, I'm so and so from this band, you know, like we know your blog because of this. I enjoyed this particular article. Show like people that you care about their work, and maybe they might show an interest in your work. It's a little bit suck uppy, I guess, but at the same time, I assume if you want a blog to write about you, you probably like the blog, you know, like, so yeah, interact with the stuff, be seen, and just be good. And I guess a good blog should pick you up. And also just remember, a lot of like stuff is just politics, and people don't really know what's good out there. And you know, like, so like at the end of the day, you can submit stuff to different blogs and stuff, and you know they've never heard of you, their friends never ever heard of you, they don't want to fucking click play and decide for themselves, and so that's it. They're not going to listen to you. Just keep on trying to find somewhere else then, you know, that you do actually think would like your shit. And yeah, just keep trying. Um, but also, fuck it, who needs blogs attention these days? Like, you just need like you need an influencer. That's what you need. You need someone to, with hundreds of thousands of followers, to tweet about you. Nas Who, which is Nas Husen, he asks, you're often dealing with a lot of trolls and hatred directed towards you online. How do you deal with it all? Do you feel like you're dealing with it well? And do you feel like you've dealt with it better in the past, or like you've got healthier coping mechanisms today? I don't know. I used to deal with it like just by fighting back, and a lot of it was like on the blog. So kind of incited it a little bit because it was good for hits, which is kind of irrelevant anyway because we didn't really sell advertising, and like, but it was entertaining, I guess, when I was younger, and it didn't really matter as much. And like, yeah, like it felt like, you know, battling trolls on, you know, Durban is Yours was just a bit of back and forth banter and fun. And sometimes it got a little bit hectic, but I never really took it too seriously. But these days on Twitter and shit like that, like, I don't know, man, there's a lot of really hateful fucking people, like really scary people. There's like just the white supremacy shit, just the fucking bots, the fucking like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's happening online at the moment that I don't even know if it's a matter of like, it's a matter of like we're being manipulated, like we clearly are, and I know I'm responding in ways that aren't healthy, you know, like, and I don't want to, so that's why I've set my Twitter account to private lately, and I might just keep it that way for quite a long time because it's a really cool way to use Twitter. Yes, you can't get retweets, but you also get way less death threats. So You know, like, do you want public approval? Or like, because that's actually what it feels like these days. If you want any sort of public approval, like, you just want to also get torn apart. Like, as soon as you get a tweet that gets like 10,000 retweets or something, or even like 1,000 or whatever, even 500, and you just said something that people disagree with, like, they're gonna come for you. And yeah, I'm so fucking over that shit. Even though sometimes I'm a part of the fucking mob, I'm a part of the problem too, people. And yeah, I'm trying to work on my Twitter addiction. And yeah, that's I don't know how healthily I've been dealing with trolls and stuff, and so I put my accounts on private. And just in general, I think not engaging is probably the best way to deal with these things. You know, like they've said in the past, well, yeah, if people are trolling, the people aren't being genuine, then fuck them. Like, but that's also the thing. Like, I haven't also been genuine. Like, I've also trolled. I've not exactly been, the most wholesome good boy on the internet. So I can't talk too much shit there. But in general, I'm dealing with it better now just because my coping mechanism is putting my Twitter accounts on private. And I've found that to just be very peaceful and very like enjoyable. And if people want to follow me, they can do so at Bobness Monster. Unfortunately, you can't retweet me. You can screenshot. Like, I mean, people are doing it anyway. So why not you? And next up is Kath Jenkin. What is indeed the meaning of laugh? Disqualifying answers include 42, it's meaningless, and nothing. I hate to disappoint you, but there is literally no fucking meaning to laugh. None whatsoever. That's the unfortunate truth. Like, you make up the meaning. That's sorry. Like, spoiler alert. There's no point. Like, we get to enjoy it, we get to do it, we get to experience it. Like, we get to know that it's happening, probably. And that's rad. But other than that, you just got to create your own meaning in this world. You got to find the things that are important to you and, pursue them. Unfortunately, sometimes the things that are important to other people get in the way of the things that are important to you. And that creates conflict because we don't all have the same meaning, because you can't have the same meaning when there is no meaning to anything. So, yeah, life is meaningless, and you've just got to figure out a way to not kill yourself because of that fact. And that's something that we all go through, right? That's an everyday struggle that everyone is totally relating to right now. No, like, I do think that the meaning to life is to just fucking enjoy it, to just be a good person and try and do the most with what you got. Just like, it's not that deep, it's not that complicated. Like, I think people get a bit too tied up in the big questions, like, what is the meaning of life? I mean, I'm sure we all go through that. We have, like, existential angst and crises and all of that. And, I've gone through those phases at times. And even, to this day, I still, like, read philosophy stuff, and I still watch a lot of philosophy things, and, I enjoy it. And, like, it's good to know all the different ideas around these things and that. But at the end of the day, you just got to figure out what it is that makes you get up out of bed in the morning. And then that's probably the meaning of life for you. What's the first rule you'd make if you were appointed global president for a week? We'd get rid of the borders. That would be the first thing. No countries. That'd be pretty cool. Probably one currency. That would help, I think. I don't know a lot about economics. I don't know. Don't shoot me if that would be the worst idea ever. But I hate the idea of borders in general. I think, what the fuck? Why are we doing this? We're all just people. The Earth is a free planet, We should just be able to walk from here to the ends of the Earth. But yeah, so no borders. That would be the first one. Second one would just be decriminalizing all drugs and then taking it from there. I don't know all the solutions with regards to drugs and stuff, but I know that the war on drugs has definitely not helped. By it being illegal has just made everything a hell of a lot worse. And so let's change that. as the South African government's kind of seeing with weed, and a lot of countries around the world are starting to see in general. So yeah, those would probably be two of the biggest issues. If I was going for world leader, that's what I'd campaign on. I don't know how popular it would be, especially considering like everyone these days is like close the borders and no more migrants and shit like that. And it's just like all these things, like all this nationality shit is just causing issues, and I wish we'd get rid of it. When we eat the rich, who goes on the menu first? Just for being annoying, Elon Musk. Like no other reasons. Like Jeff Bezos probably for being more evil, but Elon Musk just like fucking like. I hate that people retweet about to my timeline. That's it. Like if that didn't happen, probably would just go straight for Jeff Bezos. Chadado, fuck him. But like, yeah, like Elon Musk has some really bad stoner thoughts and just things that like. How is this man running like these companies when he's literally tweeting like shit that like me and my friends were thinking about like when we were like 16, busy fucking doing methylated spirits and shit. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, Elon must get chowed. But in terms of evilness, Jeff Bezos, but also I don't even know, man. Like, I don't know all the billionaires. I don't know all the rich people. There's probably people who are a lot worse, but Jeff Bezos is just the face of all this cuck now. But, there's a lot of fucking bad rich people. So, I don't know. Also, I don't think we should actually eat the rich. Like, I don't think, we should go that far. We should use them for fertilizer. Karan C is Karan Chetty, who I host another podcast with. We actually host a podcast called the Sharks MTG Podcast. And if you want to like know anything about Magic the Gathering, go check that out. Although you probably should play Magic the Gathering already, or else you might not understand a fucking word we say. He says, why does Durban have the worst nightlife in South Africa? And that's because of racial segregation and the lack of money. I'd say those are the two main things. Durbanites are still quite racist, less so than before, I think. But in general, everyone kind of sticks to their areas, white people in the white area, Indian people in the Indian area, black people in the black area. And like, every now and again we cross pollinate and we have some good times and stuff like that. And like, I feel when that happens, we actually have an amazing nightlife and we've got, these wonderful parties and stuff. But there is dope stuff that happens in Durban. It is, like I say, just, in its own spaces and it's quite segregated. So I think that's probably it. People are racist. So that's why Durban's got the worst nightlife. It's also people don't have money. So fuck, like, you can't, places don't stay open because, in Joburg, people will go to like 3 different places in a night and all those places will be busy and it'll be rad. But in Durban, like, people will go to one place or maybe 2, and then if they have a drink special. If you don't have a drink special, then you're kind of fucked. Obviously things are a bit different out in the north, but that's how things are in the south. So yeah, that's how I see it. Okay, we're nearly done. We've got a few more to go. This is I would say flown right by, but it hasn't. It's been quite long, and my mouth is getting quite dry, so I'm glad we're getting towards the end of this. It is Tozi, the creator. He asks, who's your favorite local music writer and why? I'd say Sabelo Nkabela, hence why he's like the only music journalist I've had on this podcast, because he's insightful as fuck. Like, he knows what he's talking about. He gives good insights. He clearly, listens and thinks about the music. Well, that's the way I see it. I think in the conversation we had, he seemed like he said he wasn't like a deep thinker at all. But yeah, like his stuff comes across as being very well versed, and I appreciate that. It's also not pretentious, which is the unfortunate thing that a lot of music writers fall into. A lot of the stuff is very wanky and self-indulgent and superfluous and unnecessary. And so, like some of those words that I use there. So yeah, like I really like Sabelo's writing, and he's one of the few people who I read a lot of locally. Dan Ozzy's probably like my favorite music writer, just in general. He writes for Noisy. I don't know if he still writes for Noisy, but he's got his own blog, so check him out internationally, and yeah, locally, check out Sabelo, cause yeah, he writes for OK Africa, and yeah, man. As I say, he's just a really insightful dude. I feel like after reading his stuff that I know more about the subject than I knew before. And that doesn't happen a lot. A lot of the time, like, I'll read stuff and it'll just be rehashed press releases, or it'll just be like someone trying to fucking describe a song in the most wanky way possible. And I just don't need that, you know? So, yeah. I enjoy Sabelo's writing, so go check him out. What local band do you miss the most that split up? City Ball. Like, they're, friends, but they're also a band I really enjoyed watching play. But also, I'd hate for them to, like, go into their 30s still doing that. But, like, as they were getting older, the music was getting more mature as well. But there was a time period where they could have been the biggest band in the country. They kind of almost were. Like, they were like, you know, yeah, they were fucking big for an independent band from Durban, and they managed to do some really cool things. And I really love their music, but it's also cool to see all the stuff that they've done since they broke up. And yeah, I really enjoyed. Like, it's cool to see Weed Dealer are going overseas, which is Marty's band. Ali is in Hated Related. Matt is in Similar Summers. They just released an EP, I think last weekend. I know Kurt's in Mexico doing stuff, and Steve's busy recording people. I don't know what Mole's doing. I know Adam's got bands. These are all the drummers, by the way. They had like 5 of them. So Adam's in bands overseas and stuff. So yeah, City Ball were definitely one of those Durban bands that just like, bands should have made it, definitely. Obviously, Go-Go would be cool to see again. I'd love to see a reunion show of them. Other than that, Kid of Doom. Would definitely love to see Kid of Doom again. I see they've played 1 or 2 gigs since. They're phenomenal. And Locke would definitely be an act I would love to see live again. So those are the local bands that I miss the most that have split up, I guess. And what's my favorite Powertone song? Go Fuck Yourself. That's one of their songs, right? That's definitely a Powertone song. It's always what I think whenever I hear a Powertone song. It's like, go fuck yourself. No, I don't know. Push Me to the Floor. That's one of their songs. It's a Pixies cover, isn't it? Here Comes a Man. They did. They also they did Here Comes a Man, didn't they? Fuck the Polytones, man. Okay, so last one was on the other account, so I had to screen grab it. So I'm gonna take a split second to quickly find it. And the very last question is goes to the dubious honor. Goes to Rousseau Null, who asked, did people actually enjoy watching local rock bands at a venue in the 2000s, or did they just not have an alternative because they were scared of pop and dance music? And I think the media plays a part in trends. And so the fact that MCAR existed, and the fact that, radio stations were playing rock music back in the day, and just in general, it was cool. Avril Lavigne, Pink, like even pop music was alternative. You had Fall Out Boy, you had all these things that were like rock music it was also pop. So yeah, I think people actually enjoyed it. And I just think it was part of the culture. I think it was actually part of mainstream culture. Alternative culture was mainstream culture for quite some time. And yeah, that's all changed now. That's all given way to like hip hop and dance and pop music. And yeah, things are very, 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 very different to just a few years ago. But it's cool to see things constantly evolving and how it all changes, and how, the new generations identify themselves, through their art. And it's exciting times. And it's also kind of cringy when you look back at the things that you used to do. Like, yeah, some of the bands we used to go to, some of the venues you used to go to, and some of the things we used to wear to go watch those bands at those venues. So yeah, I definitely think people enjoyed watching local rock bands and stuff. I know I definitely had a fantastic time. You can't really stage dive as much at at the dance shows and stuff. If you're the DJ, then you can stage dive and shit. But part of a rock show was a rad vibe that in the crowd you could quickly run up on stage, run out, hit a little somersault. It was good times. And yeah, I think it was also just the camaraderie. I think, those kind of, like, if you were there, like how magical, band events can be, how gigs could be, and also just that time period. And, it was where you went to go hang out. It was where you went to go meet people and talk and find other people who are interested in the same things that you were, and who also on MySpace and shit like that. So yeah, I think people enjoyed it, and by people I mean me. And I hope by people enjoying things I mean you and this podcast as well, because it has been quite long. It does feel a little rambly at this point, and yeah, I think that's it. That's all the questions I could find. I'm sorry if you asked me something and I didn't find it and I didn't actually answer it. Maybe hit me up and I'll ask it on the next, podcast. Maybe it'll be a regular thing I could do at the end, like a little, question of the week section. Could be for the patrons, and you could go to patreon.com/almost perfect if you would like to sign up to that. Other than that, I will see you at the Winston Pub this Friday for Across Dress Universe 2 Intergalactic Boogaloo. Make sure you are dressed up either in space or cross-dressing vibes, or both. Cross-dressing in space. I'll see you there.